Here's what we got for today. Okay, here's where we're at. Load instrument from Git repo is working, and I just want to integrate LTstrange's code. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. Before I do that, I'm just going to merge my own code because we have two very different approaches here. So let's get one into main, and then I'll make some tweaks to get LTstranges in as well. But there are some naming conflicts going on, so I'm going to fix that on the fork if I can, and then hopefully we'll get everything in. So I might just be nitpicking, but I made a lot of little changes to this synth code, and all the tests are, as it turns out, passing. So I'm really happy with the way this looks and with what LTstrange did here. So I'm going to go ahead and merge this in. What we have now is some tweaks to various parts of the code, but most of the code from this MR is right here. This PR, rather, is right here in the synth file now. The test config, I moved into the test data folder. The test example file of using it, I moved into the test integration folder, and I left it to do because eventually we're going to integrate this with the CLI and just be able to use CLI entry point to do this example. However, for now, I just threw the example code right here, and test synth.py, of course, has its own file too. So with this, really happy with this and super thankful for LTstrange who did this hard work to make this happen. So I'm going to go ahead and merge it in. Off we go. Merged. Okay, next stop is to support synth instruments in the CLI, so still some integration work to do. Let's see if we can knock it out. So as we have it now, an instrument is, here's the name of the instrument, right? It's a collection of clips. And currently those clips are only WAV files. That's all that we support. In the clip code, we have a toNP method, and that's what gets us our numpy array of raw data that we can manipulate. And currently, I did add a clip type because I was thinking we could go down this path. If it's a WAV file, it uses wave to MP, which we've already established is a way to get a WAV file into that format, and it just returns it, right? So if it's a sine, or I think I'm going to change this to say synth, then what do we do? Then we leverage this synth code from LTstrange. So yeah. While we're at it, we probably should have a license for this code if we continue, and I like Ruby on Rails. I trust them. I think they're a great project, and I've already been tempted by the MIT license. Thankfully, GitHub summarizes it nicely here. I think it's appropriate, so I'm just going to take their license. Okay, let me actually use the GitHub tool for this. Add a file, create new file, license.md. Choose a license template, MIT license. Sounds good. Oh, so that is, yes, okay, that's fine. I'm going to put it under the business, but yes, perfect. There we go. Okay, we're done. So I renamed this to synth clip, and I'm realizing that instead of having a type enum here, a great refactor would probably be to just use subclasses, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm currently trying to define a song using this config, or roughly this config, and I'm going to start by getting the frequencies, which I found at this website. I pasted them into an Excel sheet, and I'm pretty tired of typing these already. I'm 4 notes in, so I'm going to write a quick script to parse this and dump it out. Okay, I have my little parser script, and I ran it. It seems to work the way I was expecting, so I'm just going to throw the result into a txt file, and I can throw that script away, I think. And I don't need these two, and the rest I can just paste right in. I might modify these names, but other than that, actually I can do that in the script too. There we go, I threw away everything after the slash, and now we don't have to change anything. I can just copy this wholesale, throw it right in here, and change the indent, and we're done. Awesome. Okay, we have some output here. Here's the old synth YAML. Here's the new one defining each frequency, and in clip.py we are just assuming some of these things. It's getting a little out of hand to manage all this. I think maybe we need a resource manager or something, some central place to manage actually interacting with the file system versus handling all these meta details, abstract details about the song. But this links right into, I renamed this method, but this is LTstrange's method for generating a sine wave. And here's the output. I want to cover your ears. Yeah, so I think the problem there is there's no end note, there's no length. So all of the notes are playing at the same time. So you have the first note, and then where the first note is supposed to end, it just starts playing the second note on top of the first note, and then it keeps going until it's like too much. It's ridiculous. Although it gets back down to one note, so somehow it must be ending. I think there's a duration that's coming out of the synth, but the song itself does not clip anything. So they all get layered on top of each other like crazy. So I think the next step is definitely to support that, both for wave and for synthesized stuff, is just cut clips short when appropriate. Thanks for tuning in for this episode. If you liked this, go subscribe, I guess, or like or whatever. But we also have a Discord where you can come in and talk about the projects that we work on this channel. So maybe check that out. There's a link in the description. Also a link to this source code. Either way, thanks, and see you for the next one.